Hi beautiful people, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing fantastic wherever you are in this world, and you guys, hope everybody is having a fantastic week so far. First of all, it's like 4:45 in the morning, and I do apologize if you hear the thundering, and we're having a severe storm in Mobile, so I do apologize if you hear the noise. And as you can hear, Max is freaking out because of the thunder. Also, another thing I want to clarify, Max, I mentioned in my last video that I did get the vaccine, and I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, so I don't go for the second dose. And yes, I know it was recalled, and you guys, I feel fantastic. I truly do feel absolutely fantastic. So my dad called me and was freaking out, finding out if I'm feeling okay, if I'm having any symptoms and stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm good, Dad, I am good, no need to worry. And if I did, I wouldn't even have bothered him because he is such a worrywart, him and my mother both. So you guys, before I get into this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and the notification bell so you're notified each time I upload. And also, my usual disclaimer, please don't take what I say as fact. Feel free to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. On Monday, Katie Joy decided to do an Instagram live. And in this Instagram live, she actually spoke about, since she's got this huge platform going, that she was going to educate people on life raising a kid with chronic illness, bringing awareness to different types of feeding and eating, talking about being a caregiver that she deals with every day, but also she doesn't want anybody to feel sorry for her or people to feel bad for her, because there is so much misinformation and stigma around this, and there are so many questions. Also, there's so much judgment on mothers. First and foremost, you know, during this live, Katie had a tendency of lumping everybody else into how people viewed her parenting, her as a mother. So she felt like she had to lump everybody else in it, which I totally disagreed with. Then she started going and explaining about why she left Twitter, which I call total bullshit on. Because let me say this. If you remember correctly, if you follow KJ, talking about KJ, she actually made a statement on her Instagram live, which I'll post here, basically saying she doesn't appreciate being called KJ. Her name is Katie, which she goes by, and it's a name that people, her haters, basically came up with. So anyway, so she said that she deleted Twitter, and because she's a public figure and public figures go through this all the time, and it got to the level of harassment, and people were posting her address and telling people to call CPS on her. I've never seen something like that happen. Never. Maybe I missed it, and maybe somebody can clarify that and let me know that it did happen, and I would totally appreciate it. And she went into how, you know, people can create sock accounts and you'll be able to get to her even if you were blocked. And I'm just sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, for a person that doesn't have sock accounts, seems to know a rather huge idea and so much information on how sock accounts work. I myself don't even know how a sock account works, because basically I'm like, what's the need to know? I'm not that type of person. I'm not that desperate to get to somebody that I need to create a sock account. You know what I'm saying? She decided to actually go off and say how she had to delete it, and she deleted it off her phone. But if you remember correctly, the weekend, this woman went off. She was on her Twitter going after Salt and Emily D. Baker. And then all of a sudden, she privated her Twitter. And then she says that she's no more going to be discussing public figures or celebrities or stuff like that. And then when I went and checked her social blade, she actually deleted thousands and thousands of views from her channel. So In my opinion, I think something is definitely going on behind the scenes. For KJ to be doing such a 360 all of a sudden, it just raises a whole lot of questions. But you know what? It is eventually going to come out. KJ goes on and she says that there's so much judgment on mothers. But my thing specifically of kids with disabilities and how kids with disabilities are bullied, and I get that. I truly get that. They are bullied. But my thing with, this alone is that me personally, when I see a mother with a kid with a disability, my first thought is not, oh, what did that mother do when she was pregnant? You know what I'm saying? That's not something me myself would think of when I see a kid with disability. If I see that, automatically my heart goes out to that mother, because I can only imagine the amount of work it must take to care for that child. Let me play this clip for you.
I don't want to have a child that has this or that, or, as long as my child is healthy, or as long as my child is this or that. And, sometimes your perspective changes when you have a child that doesn't have very good health, and you realize that it's not necessarily just about health. Like, I always think of it this way. Like, I'm just glad that my son is a good kid. I'm glad that my son has a good heart. I'm glad that my son has a good attitude.
Now, if I'm in KJ's position, the first thing, anytime it comes to mind, I thank God my son is alive. I truly believe that, God only gives you what you can handle. And KJ absolutely hates that. She hates that saying. I'm not sitting here and telling you that I am Mother of the Year. I am far from being a perfect mother. I have my flaws. My parenting is very different from anybody else's parenting. I raised my kids the way we were raised back home. And that's me. That's totally on me. But the issue that I have with KJ is that she only, and this is my opinion, she only uses or talks about her son when she's looking for sympathy, when she's looking for validation, when she's looking for approval, or she's looking for an ally. That's just my opinion, you guys. And it totally irks me when she does this, because there's plenty of times when, and I'm going to play bits and pieces of videos that I came across where KJ says that she's never going to talk about her son again. If she talks about her son in the next life, somebody will follow up and ask her about her son, and she'll quickly shut them down. So it's either or. Which is it, Katie? Which is it going to be? Now, all of a sudden, you're going to come and you're going to give people insight. Parenting, there is no one way to do parenting. And in my opinion, KJ feels she knows it all, And as a parent, one thing can work for my kids, but it's not going to work for your kids. And the way KJ delivers stuff, it's like, it's got to be this way or no way at all. That's just my opinion. She keeps I take it as she blames everybody else. For example, it's like people say, she mentioned that people say, oh, she got no friends. And then she refers to herself as the third person. Oh, KJ has friends. KJ had plenty of friends. Just because now of her son and the illnesses he has, she got to keep him safe. What good are you doing for him, KJ, by isolating him? By not doing stuff with him, by not making him explore. I know he suffers with a lot of illnesses. He has certain issues, but you got to expose him to different kind of stuff. He's a kid.
We spend a lot of time on hold with insurance. We have to fight for services. It's a lot different than just being a mom. And one of the most challenging things for moms like me or dads like me is that you get stretched thin.
In my opinion, parents, period, with kids are stretched thin. That's why I tell anybody and everybody, in my situation, my husband works outside of the home 85-90% of the time. All that time, I'm basically like a single parent. With raising 5 kids, it was no joke. I'm not complaining. I wouldn't change anything else in the world. I truly, truly wouldn't. My life revolves around my kids. And that's why I came up with a way to make everybody, or make me myself, be available for them and be able to function for them. That's why I get up 3:15 latest every morning. I've said this how many times, just so I can get my me time, so I can evaluate myself, so I can get ready for my day to be available for them, you know, just for my sanity. And it's all about managing your time. That's all you got to do, is just managing your time. Yes, a kid with disability, you need much more to take care of them, but you can do it. It's okay. As she says, it's okay to ask for help. I get that. I truly, truly get that.
Things that they love to shame moms of children with disabilities is that we don't take care of our children.
And what KJ fails to realize is that there are some people out there, and I know of a person that doesn't even have half of the resources that she has. And the thing that truly, truly makes me so mad is the fact that KJ refers to these nurses as her staff. Me personally, I find that very disrespectful. In one of her, I think it was her Instagram live or a Katie Joy live, she referred to her staff as help. If nobody finds that disrespectful, then there's definitely something wrong with me. When I saw this whole thing going down on her live, and when she blamed the nurse for all the expired medication, it dawned on me that I saw a live with EKCPEOPLESUCK, aka Erin, and I messaged her and she sent me over the footage. And when I watched that video in its entirety, smoke was coming out my ears. Because in this video, this live that she did, KJ talks about how she had a nurse that she had to let go because this nurse was abusing her and her son for a whole year. She kept referring to this nurse as staff. Now, maybe this is just me. If I have that in my home, if I have a nurse coming over to help with my son, I would make anywhere available for that nurse. Maybe she needs to be by the living room table, busy with him with his schoolwork, or maybe she needs to be in the dining room with a whole different skill set, or maybe she needs to be in the lounge with another skill set. You know, we got to be available for them because she's there to teach your son. She's not a fucking babysitter, okay? And in this video, she says that the nurse was telling her what goes on in her home and how her kid was too much on his iPad. Now, that I can believe. Because if the nurse is trying to tell you that she's trying to teach your child skills, and this is just my opinion, you guys, just my opinion. If she's trying to teach him certain skills, he needs to put the iPad down. He can't just constantly be on his iPad. If that's his therapy time to do or learn a certain skill, the iPad needs to be put down. But clearly, that's how KJ operates in a home, in my opinion. Give him his iPad, let him be wherever he needs to be so he can be quiet, so she can stalk people on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, in my opinion. And then she says that nurses are not doctors. They are there in your home to do what the doctors told them to do. They're not there to tell you what to do. I'm not even going to go there. So she also said that the nurse didn't want to be stuck in a room that smelled like stinky diapers. She didn't want to be stuck in the basement, or she didn't want to be stuck in a room. When she said that, it made me think, remember when CPS was called to a house because somebody called CPS when she was on a live, and Todd apparently was in a room, stuck in a room for 10 hours, and she said he was stuck in the room with the dog. So it makes you wonder, if she's making these nurses be stuck in a room with their son, it's like, no wonder the nurse was trying to tell you that you're treating her like an animal. It truly makes you wonder. And then she also pointed out that, and she also has a tongue slip in this video, you guys. She's talking about the nurse. At first she says, I'm going to play all these clips for you at the end of the video. She's talking about the nurse, and then she says, oh, my friend, and then coughs and says, the nurse, which is totally wild. First she says, her son was shaking because he doesn't understand when a person is being mean. But then in the next breath, she says, oh, her son does understand that when she screams, she's being mean. You know, KJ has so many bloody discrepancies, it's unbelievable. It's like either or. Which one is it, KJ? It's like you can't remember what you said 2 minutes ago, and then you're saying another story 2 minutes later. Back to the live, you know, where she threw this nurse under the bus. Threw the nurse under the bus because she wants to be the mother of the year and show people all the medication her son is on, and come to find out the medication is expired. And yes, I'm going to get the KJ stands are going to come and say, oh, but you can still use it. Me personally, if that was such important medication, I wouldn't even run the risk of using something that's expired if it's going to cost him his life. You know what I'm saying? That's something you should supposed to be on top of your game with every single month. Go to the cabinet, check what's expired, what needs to be restocked. Clearly KJ doesn't do that, because what does KJ do? KJ's stuck in that room of hers, or that office of hers, from 7 o'clock in the morning to I don't know what time, because she explained that herself. She clearly did. She said she gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning. 6 o'clock in the morning. By 7 o'clock, she's in her office. It takes her 3 hours to do the research, okay? In my opinion, the stalking on whatever social media. And then it takes her, first she said it takes her 3 hours to do a video, then she bumped it down to 2.5 hours, then she bumped it down to 1.5 hours. So let's give her the benefit of the doubt. It takes her 1.5 hours to do a video. KJ does 3 videos per day, okay? So if you work it out to KJ at 7 o'clock in the morning, it takes her 3 hours, so that will give her till 10 o'clock. So if it takes you 1.5 hours, that's another 3.5 hours to do your videos. So that leads you to what? 10, 11, 12, 1:30. So by the time you edit, you render, you upload, you do your thumbnails, what time is that? Because I can tell you something, you guys. I started filming this video at 4:45, and it's now 5:15, and I'm not even halfway through this video, okay? So I can't even, where does she have the time for her son? And then she even mentioned the other day, Saturday she takes weekends off. So she mentioned that her son was playing on the floor with these dinosaurs, and she's sitting and she was playing on her Instagram. Ugh, I'm sorry about the noise, you guys. So it's like, when are you spending the time with your son, KJ? When? If you want to say people are coming at you for your parenting, can you understand now why, KJ? As parents, whether you have one child, whether you have 8,000, like KJ always says with all these fundies, they have 1,000, 100,000 children, 8,000 children. Why does it irk her so much how many kids people have? It just makes no sense. As a parent, you are going to be burnt out, period. Period. This is how she contradicts herself so much. You know, it's like, first she said she did all raising her son and doing everything by herself for 5 years. Then it went to, she did it for 7 years. And then she had the tongue slip of where she said, where she could be self-employed and be able to support her husband. She was going to say husband, then she caught herself and said family. Now, this is my opinion, and this is the way I see it. KJ felt she found an outlet to be able to support her family, meaning her husband, so he could stay at home and watch the child, because we've heard the story before that she didn't want children, and the only reason she had a child was because of her husband. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking now, there you go, you wanted the child, now you stay at home and you look after the child. But it still doesn't make sense, because now they both self-employed. He makes guitars, she does YouTube videos. So what happens when there are no nurses, you know? She always says they hand over every second night, and I don't know, you know? I truly don't know. My heart just bleeds for this boy, because we've seen him on lives, you guys. He sounds so intelligent. He sounds like such a rambunctious little boy. And I don't think KJ gives him the credit he deserves. In my opinion, I feel she's holding him back. She mentioned in one video that when she dies, he's still going to be living in her basement. And as I was saying, like she says, first she was doing it for the first 5 years, then she was doing it for the first 7 years. But in the video that I'm going to show you at the end, she says that she's been having nurses on and off for all of his life. So it's like, which do you believe? All I'm saying here is, personally, if I was in a position of being a mother with a disabled child or a child with autism, I would not want KJ to be a spokesman for their community, because in my opinion, it's all just about the dollar signs. It's all about how you're going to get the clicks, the views, and whatever, because her delivery is absolutely atrocious. It's either her way or the highway. She can't take criticism, and I don't feel she should be putting her son out there like that. I truly don't. He deserves better. He deserves more. As parents, we should be encouraging our children, not holding them back. And to all those nurses out there, thank you so much for everything y'all do. Y'all are true heroes. Whether you're a caregiver in the home, whether you work in the emergency room, whether you work in the urgent care, wherever you work, thank you so much. It breaks my heart that a person like KJ would reference y'all or look at y'all like help. Without you guys, our kids, our family members would not be succeeding. And at the end of the day, people, kids are defying the odds daily. And I personally feel that that little boy is capable of so much more than they're giving him credit for. He is an energetic, handsome, well-spoken young boy, and they truly don't give him the credit that he truly deserves. So, like again, I say to all those nurses, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, from my home to you guys, because you all are truly, absolutely, and most definitely amazing. Without you guys, we would not be where we are with this whole episode that we've been going through for the past year. And without you guys, where would we be? You're not the help. You guys are the heroes. Don't ever forget that. Thank you so much. And this, all props go to Erin, aka EKCPEOPLESUCK, because I saw she did a live where she played this video, and this video was actually recorded in February of 2019 when KJ did a live explaining how they to get rid of a nurse, because apparently this nurse was abusing her and her son for a whole year. Wait a minute. If there's a nurse in your home that's verbally abusing your child, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You're not even gonna last the next day. So why did it took her a whole year? Because she didn't want to hurt her son's feelings. What about your son experiencing trauma in years to come if you saying that nurse was abusing him, KJ?
You know, what it's like to raise a child that is medically fragile and have staff in your home. My son has had home care nursing for on and off his whole life.
It's hard to have staff in your home when you're an introvert. And sometimes I would be short with her or just with staff in general. Because the nurse that we actually just let go, she had been with us for a year, and my son was really attached to her. And unfortunately, she was extremely abusive to me and to my son verbally, because my son loved her and my son doesn't have any friends, like none. And he thought she was her, she like called her his best friend. I just liked that my son had a friend. So when you have staff in your home, you're supposed to have boundaries. Like, you're supposed to be the family, and then they're supposed to be the staff. And they're not there to be family, and they're not there to be a part of the family. Like, when you're a staff in a home, it's really not your choice to decide how someone parents. The parent is the parent, the staff is the staff. She decided that she was going to start taking away his iPad, and she decided that he needed to do things besides look on his iPad, and she would fight with me about his iPad. She told me that he needs to do more than have his iPad. I've had nurses tell me that what I feed my child isn't right. See, nurses, when they come into your home, they're not doctors. They're following doctors' orders, and they're not there to give any direction. And so they might have clinical experience, but it's their job to follow the doctor's order, if that makes sense. So they're not in your home to like give you suggestions. They're in your home because the doctor ordered that they be in your home. And then the doctor prescribes different orders for the nurses to do. And then those nurses are supposed to follow those orders. She like threatened us to get rid of our dog. She told me that she doesn't have to work in a place that has stinky diapers. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. Like, she didn't want to be in a basement. One day she didn't want to be in a room. Another day she didn't want to be in his room, because she said that she just can't sit in a room all day and be with my son. But that's literally what she's hired to do. And it's either you have a nurse or you have open shifts. And for people that work like me, if you don't have a nurse, that means you're not going to be able to work. And you know, like, I haven't had time in the last few days to actually write like original stories. So a lot of my articles have been like very quick and easy, like legal cases or cases that I like can do commentary on. But like, I'm not doing the kind of writing right now that I want to be, because I don't have nurses. And
Those nurses are not there to fucking be your babysitter, KJ. Absolutely not.
And then if I pointed out that she was staff, she would accuse me of being rude or treating her like an animal. That's actually what she called me. That's actually what she told me yesterday, was that I was treating her like an animal.
Okay, so it's actually kind of nice to not have staff in my house today, because I can get rid of some of the stuff. Sometimes when the staff is here, I feel like they're always on top of me, or I don't know, can't really be myself in my own house.
So you guys, I'm gonna leave it as that. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. I would absolutely love to hear from you guys, especially the KJHs. But anyway, it is what it is. Thank you so much, you guys, for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and please be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.